Miguel, welcome to Tech Trends.
Yeah, thank you so much, CFA. I truly appreciate it.
Looking at the entire industry today, how would you say technology has affected the industry?
Technology has changed everything about the industry. For me, one of the reasons why I don't want to say I'm very successful, but I think one of the reasons why I've prospered is because technology has made life easy for me. Currently, I run one of the most influential community of African cinema stakeholders, one for the 3 countries across Africa, and we're in other countries in Europe, around South America, and all that. And one of the reasons why we've become very successful is because of technology. We have a very influential WhatsApp group with members from all around these places, and it's a solution platforms where we solve problems without people having to travel to different continents. Recently, there was a situation where someone was impersonating another producer, and usually in the past, if you remember, people had to travel all the way to Nigeria or to Rwanda to make research or ask questions. But these days it's easier, you communicate with a fellow filmmaker on the platform and the problems to solve. In the platform, we've resolved problems with dates as concerns African film festivals that clash. We've resolved situations that occur on sets. We've resolved crisis among filmmakers. We've solved a lot of problems without having to travel to those places.
The entertainment industry has a lot of stakeholders. Do you think others will be as positive as you are when it comes to how technology has affected the industry?
The truth is, there are a lot of them. Those who decide to remain in the analog space. Back in the days, we used to have film distributors, but we don't call them distributors, we call them marketers because they're actually traders. They built this industry in a lot of ways. They also helped kill the industry. Now, one of the reasons why I say they help kill the industry is because they're really afraid to accept the transition from analog to digital. There's still people who distribute their films in VCDs, not even DVDs. Now, the DVD market is huge in Africa because data is still a major problem. But I can't remember the last time I saw a VCD player, but there's still people who distribute films, and these are the very same people who would not be excited, when the likes of Iroko TV, eventually takes over. Anyway, they've taken over, and then there's iFlix and a lot of online platforms that distribute films. So you realize that if with time, a lot of people would be rendered then jobless. A lot of them have started leaving the entertainment business, the distribution platform, and going into sales of electronics. Some have gone into jewelries and other sectors.
Another challenge that the industry has is the issue of piracy. How do you think technology can help to solve that challenge?
Yes, technology is actually helping because recently in Berlin, at the Berlinale, that's the Berlin International Film Festival, I had spoken with a couple of guys and met this very interesting group from Russia who had a technology that can actually help I don't want to say reduce, because I think it's reduced, but totally eradicate piracy from the system. It's a matter of time. New technologies are being developed. The tech whiz kids are looking for solutions because piracy affects even Hollywood, which is the biggest film market in the world. And for Hollywood, they would really want to do anything to solve that problem. And I'm sure a lot of guys at Silicon Valley are currently working to solve the problem. Once it's solved in Hollywood, it will be solved around the rest of the world.
The world has moved on from CDs and DVDs and now to online streaming services. But sometimes those platforms sort of favor the owners of the platforms. Are Nigerian entertainers benefiting from these platforms?
Iroko TV is doing a lot, with young producers. They've commissioned a lot of producers to make films for them. There's Afinoli. Afinoli are also doing short films for mobile platforms. There's a lot of platforms that are coming out because they think technology would really do a lot to promote your brands. The banks are coming out, creating their own platforms. For us who are content creators, it's money in our pocket. And it paves way for a lot of other people who really would not have a lot of, the big budgets to make big budget films. These days you can make films with your phone.
Do you think that the Nigerian entertainment industry is embracing technology beyond posting on social media?
For now, it's the orientation. What I think a lot of education needs to be in place to position the creative industry and get them ready for what is coming. We've taken advantage of social media to the best of our knowledge, and if you go on Instagram, you realize that the artists are able to communicate and interact with their fans. That's one of the very successful methods, were put in place to really utilize the purpose of social media. If you go on Instagram, for example, there's regular conversation going on. There's Instablog, where everyone wants to see what's happening. I personally enjoy the comment space where you get a lot of information, and everyone who has a space in the entertainment industry finds themselves on social media. If you're not on social media, it seems like you have a dead career. Technology goes as far as the equipment we use, equipment in terms of production, post-production, distribution. We've graduated from the era of analog cameras where we used to have U-matic, where you would need 2-3 people to carry, to the era where you have drones and you have small DSL, small digital cameras that can convey the story you want to tell. Now we've also gone beyond the era when you need a lot of crew to make a film. These days, technology has made it easy for you to make films with a small budget, with a small crew, and everybody's happy. For the music industry, I think it's made them more happy because, and also the sad side of it is that technology has been able to bring a lot of untalented people into the space and made them celebrated.
Michael, as someone who has experience in the tourism industry as well, how do you think we can unlock the potential of the industry using technology?
Communication through technology would solve a lot of problems. Recently, I learned on social media about Somo Park in Bauchi State. I never knew we had giraffes in Nigeria. Sincerely, I never knew. So I would typically go to the Serengeti, or I go to Nguru Park, or I wait till I'm in South Africa, or sometimes in Mombasa for me to see these lovely animals. If the tourism industry if they are able to properly utilize technology, the information will go around to more people that we have these things in Nigeria, this quality of tourism in Nigeria.
Data is still a challenge because it's expensive to a lot of people. Isn't that why DVDs are still selling?
Well, in the East it's huge. In the East it's really huge. People still make a lot of. In fact, you'll be amazed that recently a friend of mine made a film called Nkoliwa Suka and sold on DVDs. They sold over 1 million copies on DVDs, and when you check the revenue made from 1 million copies, if you'd see that they made so much money. These guys built houses out of distributing in Nkoliwa Suka. They built hotels, they bought cars, they bought properties. This is still, people surviving the analog age.
Michael, thank you for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, CF. It's been a great time.
I have been chatting with Michael Parish, CEO, African Film Consortium. He believes that technology can help grow the fortunes of the entertainment industry, and that artists and those in the sector need to embrace technology. That's it for our show today. Please join us on social media. Remember, you can watch these and previous editions of the show on the channel's TV YouTube account or via my blog cfatech.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.